Hello, everybody. My name is Brandon Jones. I'm joined by Mr. Kyle Bossman.
I like trailers.
And Mr. Daniel Bloodworth.
Hello.
It's redundant at this point, Kyle. They know that, okay? I never want you to ever say that again on another podcast, okay? We're all about new information here. God. If you are just tuning in now, if you're just jumping into part 2, this is Let's All Go to the Trailers. If you've already watched part 1, then we'll get right to the point. We are going to watch a trailer we've never seen before, but for a game we have heard of. Did you guys know that Otherworld was coming to Terraria, that we were getting a sequel to this game?
I saw the headline. I definitely saw like a blog post about it.
Did you play Terraria?
No.
Did you play Terraria?
Okay, so I bought Terraria, I played it for 5 minutes, realized I didn't have the time to sink into it right away, and then to get back to it.
That is exactly my experience with Terraria. And I played Minecraft a ton, and I had friends that were way into it, so it's like, through no fault of Terraria, it looks like an amazing game. It looks like something that, if I really wanted to, I could, quit my job and invest, lots of time in. But very curious to see how Otherworld sells itself and exactly what Otherworld is, so let's jump right into it. Right off the bat, before I press play, all footage is shown pre-alpha, work in progress, and in no way, shape, or form indicative of the final product.
I think you're going a little overboard on that statement.
I think
somehow it's got to be indicative of the final product.
Right. I think you can say that in like half the words.
Yeah.
But maybe they're doing something really weird.
Covering their bases.
All right, here we go.
All right, it looks like it's going to be outer spacey.
It looks pretty similar.
Okay.
Yeah.
Definitely gameplay.
Terraria Beyond Earth.
It look like flow monsters coming at you.
Oh, got a little Rogue Legacy action here. Going underwater. Can't remember if
Lots
that was
of
the last
emphasis
one.
on darkness and light. And then we have comets or something coming down. Chopping the trees.
Super epic music. Oh, there you go.
And there's crystals apparently.
Wow.
That was
Okay,
it.
I want to. Yeah, that's it. So I want to start with the music. Too epic.
No, I mean, I think it's kind of got that synthetic vibe that sells more than anything. This sense of being on another place and a hostile planet. So I think that works for it. Because I think otherwise, just looking at the visuals, it would have been harder to come across.
I don't think they used it right though. I don't think they used this music. You can do this thing, the slow fade to black, quick up, and then slow fade to black again, quick up. But that's the only thing they do. And that's crazy. The title appears too soon based off where the music's at. It just kind of appears just in the middle of the song. You want your title to have an impact when it finally appears, and that's not there.
Another editing lesson that you can learn, if you're cutting a montage and you're cutting a lot of really fast clips together, the shorter the clip, you want to make sure the larger the action. So if you have a really, really small clip of something that's happening way in the distance, I'm not going to see it in that short amount of time. And so, to me, I think the music's a little too epic to just do the drums and guitar and everything, and it's literally just a dude with a shield just walking. It's like, okay. I think the build is a little weird. I think it looks like they could have showed more. It looks like they're holding back for no reason.
I think
It's
that's
like,
true as well.
Clearly this was from an active play session that they did that I'm sure lasted much longer than this. So, I don't know why they're really teasing it. I don't know why we got that message beforehand. Maybe because it looks a lot like the old Terraria, and people are expecting the new game to look a lot better.
I think
they're saying, we are actively trying to make the game look a lot better, but, this is just kind of where we're at now. It's based on the old engine.
Yeah, I think they know they have a dedicated fan base who's going to react passionately to whatever they put out. And I think, they were covering their bases there self-consciously. And maybe rightfully so.
I think you got to sell the premise too. I got to know why are we here? I don't know. If
I think that actually is the biggest thing missing is actually show us what's different other than otherwise it just feels like some kind of skin pack, right? It's okay. The world's purple now.
And this is the debut, yeah.
Yeah. This is the debut teaser of Terraria Otherworld.
Yeah, that's not how you debut. That's not how you do it.
7.4 for me. I think if it's the teaser, get some VO, explain kind of why it's changing, or set up a story. Or if you're going to show gameplay, I just, like I said before, I think it's obvious that they could have shown more than this. I think the fade outs are just pissing me off.
Yeah, now that Kyle has pointed it out, it's like, okay, this is repetitive.
He's shooting arrows at nothing. You know, it's like it's not the fade outs aren't making me be like, oh man, I wish I saw more of that. It's like there's no reason why I couldn't see more of that. Looks adorable though, and definitely looks even in its early state, which they go out of their way to explain. Looks pretty cool. It looks like there's more dynamic elements, some cool weather elements. Looks like there's more dimensions in the background. You can see like more layers of mountains and moons and weather effects in the distance and stuff. What's the score, Kyle?
3.3.
Wow.
This is almost purposeless. You, I think, have a huge opportunity with a popular game like Terraria to.
Wait. Go back.
Uh-oh, what? What's wrong? What?
Oh, it's this mouse cursor. It's just like there
Yeah, no,
on the
there's-
title.
The mouse cursor pops up in different points in the trailer.
Yeah, I mean, you're allowed to. You're allowed to show gameplay. It's just rough to show casual gameplay and pretend that this is your intense debut. You treat if half of it is there, it's real weird.
And the music just sounds like an action game. It sounds like Devil May Cry or something, And like, what my assumption when I play Terraria is that like I don't have that kind of attitude of just like, oh yeah, okay, I'm saving this planet. It's like, no, I'm just building my place and exploring. And it's real fun. It's actually kind of a casual experience. It's not like, super action oriented, tense. Break out the bow and arrow and go nuts kind of game. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, I think I'll go with 6 on this one, and I kind of feel like the purpose is lost here in terms of what this is. Is it just more Terraria with a different bent and different angle, or is there something to actually get excited about?
That's what they're teasing. They want you to question that. What are the answers? I don't have them. Tune in to the next Terraria trailer.
What's he gonna do with those 5 tiles?
I think this. I think it would be unfortunate if we don't get another Terraria Otherworld trailer for a long time. I think I would excuse a trailer like this if, like, a month from now, like, okay, we get some more stuff. But on its own, yeah, somewhat average. And apparently I like it way more than you do.
Also, outside of trailer advice, if you have a following like you do, I think you should use that Twitter account, not make a whole new Twitter account for the Otherworld. That's absurd. Don't do that.
Well, you're probably still supporting Terraria, and you want
but it's like
people to.
so now they need new followers though to go over to @Terraria the other _TOW. Like, why would you do that?
Wow, you're clearly not gonna follow them. Okay, we got some other trailers we want to talk about. I want to jump right out there with something I know you like, Mr. Blood, which is soundtracks. We had 2 soundtrack trailers this week that are very similar and yet very different. One was for Bloodborne, and one was for Ori and the Blind Forest. The Bloodborne version just has the musicians. Has a very succinct piece of music. And it shows the chorus, and it shows all the people and their instruments, and it shows the conductor putting the whole piece together. Ori and the Blind Forest is more documentary style. They actually show gameplay, which was my criticism of another game, Guild Wars? Was that the other game that we talked about?
Maybe,
earlier?
yeah.
Yeah, I remembered it. Sweet. And my big complaint from Guild Wars is like, I want to see the game actually. Like, I want to hear the music for the first part of it, and then go into the game and show me, some of the world so I can see contextually, like, okay, that's what you decided for the music, and now I want to see how it applies. And Ori and the Blind Forest did that. I thought the cuts were a little too quick. And so I guess we'll start with Ori and the Blind Forest. Do I need to see a soundboard?
You're not only seeing a soundboard, you're seeing the guys react to the music. Do you know what I mean? Which is weird because I don't believe they're at that moment listening to the same music we're listening to. And so it is very weird. Like, it does seem like cut in, basically. Just like, look how good they think this music is.
Which I guess the big question, actually, that I'm very curious of is like, what are we getting out of these trailers? Like,
Right.
well, we're hearing the music, but you can release the music and tease the music. You can do that on iTunes, where like you can literally just have a song and just put that under gameplay if you want to. Like, oh, we just had a song completed. But there is a kind of charm to actually seeing, like, what room did they record it in?
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
what's the like, the big thing that cracked me up is, like, the expressions on the looks of the people singing the Bloodborne tunes. There are some guys in that chorus that have no idea what they're saying. Like, you can clearly see some moments where some guys are like, obey, is it abe or ame? What is that? Like, looking at each other, wearing, like, polo shirts and singing
Yep.
this, like, deeply gothic, like, terrifying music.
I think there is a point, though, like, with Ori, I came away with a feeling like this has huge production values that I didn't think the game had before. So I think, like, it does sell that. It sells that kind of angle on it.
Yeah, well, watching the 2, I feel like the Bloodborne 1 was more successful in terms of, and more enjoyable, because I feel like that the way that they cut was very deliberate.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, and so when it got to a new motion or a new instrument, then they went to that. And so it all felt like a flow. It felt like you were actually watching the music as if you were, in the room and you just shifted your focus to wherever things were happening. Whereas Ori, I appreciate that they had gameplay in there, and I wish Bloodborne had a little bit of that. But it felt like it was sort of all over the place, and I couldn't follow the music as well. Like, okay, I'm looking at this, but am I hearing that? Okay, I think I am. And then because I'm spending all this time questioning, like, am I supposed to be hearing that? Is that supposed to be where my focus is at? Then I'm not enjoying it as much.
So Bloodborne's a winner, it sounds like.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even think the chorus and the orchestra were in the same room at the same time, but it's cut in such a way that you feel both things happening at the same time.
Right.
Yeah, it's really, really well edited, but also has the benefit of just being an amazing song. Just like that, what you're hearing is so good.
Yeah,
It's
both of the
crazy.
tracks from both of those games sound really great, and it's just funny. We've heard so much of that massive chorus from Bloodborne. It's just funny to see like what those people actually look like. Kind of cracked me up. Dragon's Dogma Online had a huge gameplay trailer. Love all the gameplay that we're getting from this game. I think the campaign's really good so far. It was a Japanese trailer, so I missed a lot of the dialogue.
Yeah, well, that game's still only announced for Japan, so.
Right, bummer. But just tons of stuff. Really showing off a lot of stuff. There's not a ton of expression in the people's faces. It's kind of that generic Japanese hero, like, what? Let's go! Kind of like vibe. But just loved. I mean, it's called the Japanese Giant Beasts trailer, and that's what you got in that trailer. You got a lot of giant beasts.
But also a lot of story, which is surprising both for Dragon's Dogma and for an MMO. I think it was cool they're showing that stuff off.
Yeah, they actually, I don't know if you caught it, but at the end they even had like a cast list.
Yeah, that was cool.
Oh, cool.
Classy
Yeah,
move.
so they're apparently, picking up people that people are going to recognize in some form or another, whether it's from anime or what. But yeah, I felt like some of those story scenes, I mean, I could be misinterpreting this, but I got the sense that there is a story character in the game who was talking to a group of players and like kind of rallying them up for a mission.
Yeah. I don't think you're partying with them. I don't think they're coming along fighting with you.
But I thought that was an interesting vibe to take. And then with the gameplay, I think they did a good job of selling the benefit of being online, because some of those fights, it's like, no, I would not do that fight as a solo. No way. I need people with me for that.
And I thought that game might be a 4-player game, but there were definitely some 8-player, maybe even more matches going on there.
Yeah, I think they actually did say there would be 8 players somehow.
Pretty
Yeah.
cool. I love, and especially that that your trailer can go past borders. That like I have no idea what any of you are saying or what I'm reading at all. And I, to be honest, I might not end up playing Dragon's Dogma, but I love what I'm seeing, and I love the pace at which they're releasing gameplay. I love everything that they've seen so far. So keep it up. Just personally, I'm a baseball fan. I really enjoyed the Summer Wind trailer for MLB 15, the show. One of the things I really enjoyed about it, because it's sports trailers, man, admittedly, we do not talk a lot about here on Let's Look at the Trailers. And I just loved the vibe of this trailer. I love the shot where the guy like kicks the ball back in the crowd, because that's like a classic thing at sports games.
Yeah.
You got the ball bouncing around. I love the guy throwing the grass up in the air. Like these little touches. It's like I'm looking at this in-engine. I don't know how that would work in the game. There's clearly no like throw blade of grass to test wind velocity button, but like I don't know, maybe that stuff is like an idle animation, when guys are like stepping up to the plate, or like I don't know, it just seemed to not really to obviously celebrate baseball, but to celebrate the season, which on top of that, why I was so amused is that it is not summer right now.
Yeah.
We are recording this in sunny Los Angeles, but people are very much not in this. Mr. Michael Damiani in Texas is trudging through snow right now. So I felt that was intentional, just to kind of like, hey, don't you wish it was summer? Well, it can be whenever you get your hands on MLB 15, the show, and just great use of the song, and just a fun attitude, and it wasn't that long. It was only about a minute and a half, 2 minutes. So that trailer put a smile on my face. And also putting a smile on my face, Mushroom Men Truffle Trouble, the debut trailer. When did Mushroom Men come out? It was like 5 years ago?
It was
way
a
more.
long time ago.
Wow.
It wasn't that much more. But what was weird is they actually like made fun of themselves
Love
for
that.
making a
That's the
product
best.
that nobody would buy,
Oh, that's
and
the
here's
best.
the sequel.
And they do like an E.T. Atari joke where they actually like drop it into a pit and bury
Very
dirt
Wii
over
games.
it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so great. And I think that really goes a long way. Like, it kind of reminds me of Oddworld. Kind of seems to have like the same attitude, you know, and like we were talking about earlier in part 1 of Let's Go this week, the Book of Unwritten Tales. It's just great when a game knows what it is, can make fun of itself, and can, speak really honestly to their audience and not try to sell the game for anything more than it was. Terraria sold itself more than what it was.
Sure.
The music, the editing, everything suggested an experience that was way more epic than what I was looking at or what I was anticipating. And I thought Mushroom Men, wow, another game, kind of has a Catherine vibe almost.
Absolutely,
I didn't play the first Mushroom Men, but
No, first Mushroom Men, nothing like this.
oh, okay.
It's like a platformer game.
Okay.
This little Catherine thing is its own weird thing that they're doing now.
Well, I felt like it still looks kind of like a platformer, but just a different kind. Like, rather than being like a 3D, like Mario 64, Rayman 2, or whatever it was, it felt more of just more like a Mario 3D world. Like,
Seems like a challenge room in a Mario
Yeah.
3D game. Like you go down a pipe and you pop out in this room and it's just like, run, there's a big lizard chasing you. And love the story aspect of this giant beast falling in love with him. You can hear her in the distance, like, where are you going? He's just like, I gotta get away. I love the attitude of that across the board. Some fairly pleasant trailers this week. I would go, gosh, I don't know. I think when we started the show, I would go with Book of Unwritten Tales. But gosh, I don't know.
I think out of those, Book of Unwritten Tales kind of gets it for me.
Trailer of the week?
Yeah.
My vote is definitely MLB 15, the show.
Well, hey!
I love that trailer.
And I know you like football, Kyle. You like baseball at all?
No, but this totally sells baseball. It sells it in its own unique vibe. It's not intense. It's not like, here's the show, here's what's new. It's relaxed. It's like, this is what baseball is like. Come enjoy this game with us, and I really love it for that reason.
Thanks, Kyle. Thank you for.
Thanks.
Well, I kind of wanted to give it that, but it's just such a relaxed, laid back trailer that I'm like, I don't know, I really want to. And it's a gameplay montage, It's like it's not something that I feel they like sought to get those shots just for this one trailer, but they kind of like pooled all of the shots that pertain to this song from the footage that they had.
Yeah.
Assuming, I don't know how sports games put their trailers together. I don't know if they like actively go out and play a game to get a shot, or if they literally just have like buckets of footage and they just piece the whole
But they
thing
had the
together.
Philadelphia Philly there, you know what I mean? Like, they had a vibe they were going for and then picked shots for that.
And there was a player named Jones. I just want to point out. Number 10. I don't know if he's on the Giants or the Padres. He had an orange jersey. But I don't know who that is. There's always a Jones somewhere in every single sport. So that's it for Let's Go to the Trailers this week.
Wait, was that your vote too?
No, my vote is Book of Unwritten Tales.
Oh, okay.
So that gets 2 votes. Kyle gives the 1 vote to MLB The Show. And that is our show this week. We will be back next week. Thank you, Daniel.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kyle, who loves trailers.
No problem.
See you next week, guys.